Hello, 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 all, and welcome back. Thank you for joining me for our June segment. We are talking about what to do in June around the Mental Health Month of May that we unpacked. All the different ways around corporate trauma, emotional tax, and then we're moving right on into June to talk about, coaching, group therapy, counseling, executive coaching is coming up. But we're going to take a pause from that for a second just this week and talk about Juneteenth. So Juneteenth is coming up this weekend, and we have some talking to do about that, y'all, about that holiday. Okay, so here it is. For those of you that are unfamiliar, number one, do not beat yourself up about it. Okay, the first time I learned about Juneteenth, I was in college in undergrad taking an Africana Studies course. That was the first time I learned about it, right? So well into my late teens before I even heard about it. I grew up in the North. I grew up in Ohio. So that has something to do with it that we'll learn about here in a second. So, okay, Juneteenth, what is it? June 19th, combine it, you have Juneteenth. Now, the significance of the date of Juneteenth, June 19th, is that is when Union soldiers landed outside of Galveston, Texas in 1865 to inform the enslaved folks there that they were quite literally free. The problem is that they were being informed of their freedom approximately 2 years, 5 months, and 18 days after President Lincoln had signed the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863. Now, a little point, Black history note here that I didn't know about, that I learned about as I was researching Juneteenth, is that proclamation, the Emancipation Proclamation, actually only covered those states that were in the Confederacy. So border states like Maryland or Kentucky weren't even included. So when you hear folks say President Lincoln didn't free the slaves, technically that's accurate. He didn't free all of them. Okay. So you might be thinking, why just the Confederacy states? Well, it was a political move, right? I mean, I personally have no idea what President Lincoln's actual real thoughts were, unless you go back to his readings and read it. But, Lincoln was a politician. So I don't know what the man's real thoughts were about slavery. However, it was clearly a political move, because otherwise, why wouldn't it cover the whole country at that point, right? So it was definitely a political move to weaken those that were in the Confederacy and fighting. His overall mission was to make create the Union as one and have all the states together. And that was a way to kind of force their hand. Okay, so anyway, so now you have Major, I think his name was Gordon, with the Union Army, now outside of Texas, saying, hey, by the way, y'all been free for the last couple of years. So you can imagine now, fast forward a year later, a huge celebration, a Jubilee celebration that took place outside of Houston, Texas, that was all about celebrating Black culture, liberation, freedom, right? And most importantly, hope. So that's the origin of what we're talking about when we talk about Juneteenth. Now, why is that so important? Well, those that were in Texas migrated throughout the South, right? So now you have more celebrations coming along in the South. So as those folks then start to migrate north into other places, they take that celebration with you. So that's why you have in the African American community those that are all the way from I would say like kind of baby boomer, Gen X, millennial. We kind of spottedly, right? Depending on where you grew up, your family origin, you may or may not have heard about Juneteenth, and you may or may not have celebrated it. So thanks to President Joe Biden signing into making Juneteenth a national holiday last year, now we see this uptick of celebrations across the nation. And our allies want to come alongside and celebrate as well. But here's where the problem lies. We are seeing performative actions around Juneteenth celebration. For example, you have the whole, here in the Indianapolis community, a local museum decided to add watermelon salad to their menu to celebrate Juneteenth. And honestly, at first blush, who doesn't like a good watermelon salad, right? I mean, it makes sense. It goes along with the summer. Again, at first glance, you might think, well, they're attempting. It's a try. They're making an effort. It's a new holiday. We want to celebrate. The problem is, could you get any more stereotypical, right? I mean, everyone knows in the well, apparently not everyone. I take that comment back. Apparently not everyone knows. So here it is. In the African American community, fried chicken, watermelon, certain foods, certain dance forms, certain clothing, right? Your pants sagging in the back. There's certain elements that are associated with the African American community that are stereotypical. And when you trace back, the roots of that stereotype is extremely offensive, derogatory, discrimination, and has its roots in white supremacy. Okay. Do your research. Okay. Why the heck is watermelon so offensive to the Black community? Google it, right? It is. So adding watermelon salad, it's like, really? Okay. Then you have Juneteenth ice cream. Again, you're thinking, well, what's the issue with that, right? Who doesn't like a good ice cream? And yes, we're marketing certain flavors. It's not just your regular vanilla and chocolate, y'all. They're marketing certain certain ice cream flavors for Juneteenth, such as banana pudding and red velvet cheesecake. Again, by the way, both my favorite flavors for anything, for any type of dessert. So again, you might think at first blush, what's the harm in that? Those are great flavors. What's the problem? Well, you start doing a little bit of research and find out that there is an African American female who has a national ice cream brand. And guess what, y'all? Yes, her ice cream does include banana pudding and red velvet cheesecake. So why not partner with her and elevate her brand and be intentional about diversity suppliership and sell her ice cream in major stores? Why would you have your own? Okay. And then also to Juneteenth t-shirts and hoodies. Again, first blush, you might think, again, hey, at least they're trying. We've got some apparel. Let's rock it. But why are we not collaborating with African American fashion designers and artists and, again, elevating and promoting their wares and their products? That is true, authentic celebration of Juneteenth, right? Celebrating the Black community by giving business services and opportunities to underrepresented small business owners and those that are authors, painters, jewelry makers, designers. That would be authentically celebrating Juneteenth. Okay. So with that, I will summarize by saying, if you're catching this and you're headed out for the weekend to celebrate and dance and have fun and, have your watermelon salad and ice cream. But in addition to the fun, right? Remember, back to our original authentic Jubilee celebration was, yes, you can celebrate Black culture, but it's also talking about hope. And hope means giving your resources, your time, your attention, your dollars to uplifting and supporting the Black community. So that is what active allyship looks like for Juneteenth. All right. Thank you all. Take care. And we'll be right back here again next Friday for our special guest talking about executive coaching. All right. And I am so curious, for those of you that did stick with me to the end, please put in the comments what your action, your takeaway is from the message today. All right. I look forward to reading those. Take care. Have a great and safe weekend. Be blessed. Bye.